Hello there, my dear friends. I'm so glad you stopped by today. You know, as we get older, staying active becomes both more important and sometimes a bit more complicated. I remember a few years back when I first decided to hit the gym again, determined to keep up with my younger self. I had a chat with a trainer who passionately insisted that deep squats were the key to staying fit. At first I thought, well, if it works for them, why not give it a try? But after a few less than pleasant experiences with my knees, I learned a hard lesson. Some exercises that work wonders for the young might not be the best fit for us anymore. Before we start, welcome to Old Age Support. This is a place for us seniors to chat about life, health, and staying happy as we age. No fancy talk, just real, honest conversations. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and subscribe so we can navigate this journey together. Today, I want to talk about one such exercise that you, my friends over 65, should really think twice about before doing, even if your trainer says it's all good for you. We're going to discuss deep squats, an exercise that might look harmless and even beneficial at first glance, but can sometimes cause more harm than good to our aging bodies. I know firsthand how much you value staying active. Many of us have spent our lives juggling responsibilities, raising families, building careers, and contributing to our communities. Now, in our golden years, we have the time to focus on our health, our hobbies, and our well-being. But with all this newfound freedom, it's also important to be mindful of our limitations and to listen to our bodies. After all, what worked for us when we were 30 or 40 might not be as safe or effective when we're 65 or older. Let's start by getting into the nitty-gritty of what makes deep squats a bit of a no-go for some seniors. Deep squats involve bending at the knees and hips until your thighs are almost parallel or even lower to the ground. In our younger days, our muscles and joints are more resilient, and deep squats can help build strength and stability. However, as we age, our joints, especially in the knees and hips, can become more vulnerable to wear and tear. The cartilage that cushions our joints doesn't quite have the same resilience it once did, and the muscles that support our joints may not be as strong as they used to be. I remember my good friend Harold, a lively fellow in his late 60s, who was always eager to try new things. Harold was the kind of guy who never let age slow him down. He loved going to the gym and participating in group fitness classes. One day, during a workout session, he attempted deep squats because his trainer insisted it was an excellent way to build leg strength. At first, he was thrilled. He even said he felt like a young man again. But within a few weeks, Harold began experiencing severe knee pain that made his walks in the park more of a struggle than a joy. After some tests and a few visits to his doctor, it turned out that his knees were already a bit worn out from years of use, and the deep squats had just pushed them over the edge. Harold eventually had to scale back his workout routine significantly, a lesson that he now shares with us all with a touch of humor and a lot of wisdom. So why exactly are deep squats risky for us as we age? Well, there are a few reasons. First off, as I mentioned, our joints tend to lose some of their cushioning over time. This means that when you bend deeply into a squat, the pressure on your knees and hips is much higher than when you perform a shallower movement. This extra stress can lead to pain, inflammation, or even more serious joint issues if you push too hard. Another thing to consider is balance. Deep squats require a fair amount of coordination and stability. When we're younger, our balance is often taken for granted. But with age, balance naturally declines, and even a slight misstep during a deep squat can result in a fall or injury. I've seen too many friends, including myself, experience that jolt of panic when we lose our footing during a routine exercise, and trust me, it's not a feeling you want to relive. Then there's the issue of flexibility. As we age, our muscles and connective tissues can become tighter and less forgiving. This reduced flexibility makes it harder to achieve the proper form needed for a safe deep squat. Without that ideal form, you might inadvertently strain your back or knees, leading to discomfort that lingers long after your workout is over. Now, don't get me wrong. Staying active and exercising is absolutely essential, even for those of us in our later years. But it's all about finding the right balance between challenging our bodies and protecting them. If deep squats aren't the best option for you, what alternatives are there? Well, let's talk about some safer yet effective ways to build strength in your legs and maintain balance. One of my favorite alternatives is the chair squat. Now, this might sound almost too simple, but sometimes simplicity is the key to a great workout. The beauty of the chair squat is that it allows you to practice the same motion as a deep squat, but with the added security of a chair right behind you. Here's how it works. You start by standing in front of a sturdy chair with your feet about shoulder width apart. Slowly bend your knees and lower your hips toward the chair, keeping your back straight and your weight centered over your feet. The goal is to tap the chair with your bottom before standing back up. This controlled movement helps build leg strength and improves your balance without putting excessive strain on your joints. I once joined a local fitness class specifically designed for seniors, and the instructor was a kind soul named Betty. Betty would always emphasize that it wasn't about how deep you could go, but rather how safely you could perform the movement. I recall one session where she demonstrated the chair squat with such gentle grace that even the most hesitant among us felt encouraged to try. "Remember," she would say with a smile, "we're here to strengthen our bodies, not break them." It's that kind of gentle reminder that makes all the difference, wouldn't you agree? Another great alternative to deep squats is the wall sit. Now this one is a bit different, but works wonders for building lower body strength. To do a wall sit, simply lean against a wall with your feet shoulder width apart and walk your feet forward until your knees are at a 90-degree angle, as if you're sitting on an invisible chair. Hold this position for as long as you comfortably can, and then slowly stand up. The wall sit is fantastic because it allows you to build strength gradually while minimizing the risk of losing your balance. Plus, it's a great way to give your knees a workout without the deep bending that can sometimes lead to pain. It's important to remember that before starting any new exercise, it's always a good idea to chat with your doctor or a physical therapist. They know your body's history and can help tailor a workout plan that's just right for you. I can't stress enough how valuable it is to listen to your body. If something doesn't feel right, don't push it. There's no shame in taking a step back and choosing a path that's more in tune with your needs. I understand that it might feel a bit disheartening to hear that an exercise you once believed was the secret to staying fit might actually be risky. But here's the thing. Our bodies change over time, and that's perfectly natural. What matters most is that we continue to move, stay active, and enjoy our lives without risking injury. There are plenty of ways to maintain strength, flexibility, and balance that don't involve deep squats or any other high-impact moves. Now, I'm not saying that every senior should completely avoid deep squats. If you've been doing them safely for years, and your doctor or physical therapist says it's okay, then by all means, keep at it, but always with caution. The key is to be honest with yourself about what your body can handle. Sometimes the advice from a trainer or even from well-meaning friends might not be fully applicable to the realities of aging. It's all about making informed decisions and prioritizing long-term health over short-term gains. Speaking of informed decisions, let's chat a bit more about some of the common challenges we face as we age. Many of us have spent decades pushing our bodies to achieve things, whether it was raising a family, excelling at our careers, or simply keeping up with a busy lifestyle. Now that we're in a phase of life where self-care is paramount, it's natural to feel a bit overwhelmed by all the conflicting advice out there. Do this, don't do that, can sound like a lot of noise when all you want is a simple, effective way to stay healthy. One thing that's helped me immensely is the idea of adapting rather than abandoning. Sure, deep squats might be off the table for some of us, but that doesn't mean we have to give up on leg exercises altogether. It's about tweaking the way we do things to match our current abilities. It reminds me of a conversation I had with my neighbor, Elaine. She's been an avid gardener for over 40 years, but a few winters back, she noticed that bending too deeply in the garden was causing her some discomfort. Instead of giving up her beloved gardening, she started using a raised garden bed. Not only did it make gardening easier, but it also became a fun project, one that allowed her to continue doing what she loved without the pain. It's a simple change, but it made all the difference for her. There's also a wonderful community aspect to exercise in our later years. Many of us attend community centers, local gyms with senior programs, or even online classes specifically designed for our age group. These spaces are filled with folks who understand exactly what you're going through. People who know that every step, every movement is a victory. It's incredibly empowering to see others around you adapting and thriving despite the challenges that come with aging. And here's something to ponder. What if we looked at our exercise routines as not just a way to build muscle or lose weight, but as an opportunity to honor our bodies? Each stretch, each movement is a tribute to the years of experiences, joys, and even hardships we've lived through. Instead of feeling frustrated by our limitations, we can celebrate our resilience by choosing exercises that nurture us rather than strain us. I invite you to think about the exercises you currently do and ask yourself, is this really the best way for me to stay healthy? It's okay to change your routine. In fact, being open to change can lead to wonderful discoveries about what truly works for your body. If you've ever tried deep squats and found that they weren't the best fit, consider swapping them out for chair squats or wall sits. And if you haven't yet found an exercise that feels right, take your time. Experiment with different movements, listen to your body, and don't be afraid to ask for guidance from someone who understands your needs. Before I wrap up, I'd love to share one more personal story. Not too long ago, I was invited to a family reunion, and I decided to join a morning walk with my cousins at a nearby park. As we strolled along, reminiscing about old times, I noticed how naturally some of us moved, each step deliberate and measured. It struck me that our movements, our very pace, are a testament to the lives we've led. There's a kind of wisdom in moving slowly and mindfully, savoring every moment. That day, I realized that it wasn't about pushing myself to mimic the vigorous routines of my youth, but about finding joy and balance in the simple act of walking and talking with loved ones. So, my dear friends, if you've ever found yourself grappling with the idea that you're not as spry as you once were, know that it's perfectly all right. We all face our own challenges, and sometimes the best decision is to take a step back and modify our routine. Whether it's choosing chair squats over deep squats, incorporating more balance exercises, or even just enjoying a leisurely walk with a friend, every movement counts. I'd love to hear from you. What has been your experience with exercises that once felt right but now seem a bit too risky? Have you found a safer alternative that works wonders for you? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Sharing our stories not only helps us feel connected, but also can be a source of inspiration for someone else who might be navigating similar challenges. Remember, this journey of staying active is not a race. It's a lifelong adventure where every step, no matter how small, is a victory. Let's embrace the changes that come with age with open arms, and let's continue to honor our bodies with kindness, patience, and a sense of humor. Life is too short to force ourselves into routines that don't serve us. So let's choose movements that make us feel alive, strong, and cared for. If you've ever felt like your body is speaking a little louder these days, or if you've had to modify your exercise routine, you're definitely not alone. The goal isn't to compare ourselves to our younger days, but to adapt and find joy in the movements that are best for us now. I hope today's chat has given you some food for thought, and maybe even a few ideas for how to keep moving safely and happily. Thank you for spending this time with me, sharing in a conversation that's as much about life as it is about fitness. If you found this helpful, or if it sparked a memory of your own experiences with exercise, please give this video a like, share it with a friend, or leave a comment below. And if you're looking for more tips on staying healthy and active as we grow older, consider subscribing to join our little community of wise, spirited individuals who aren't afraid to adapt and thrive. Take care of yourselves, and remember, our bodies may change with time, but our spirit to live fully and joyfully remains as strong as ever. Until next time, my friends, stay safe, stay active, and above all, stay true to what feels right for you. I'll see you in the next video.